Turning out to sports with John Bennett. Now, John, that Auburn game sure seemed like a momentum booster for the Tigers. Did it help in the rankings?
Well, the Tigers remain at number 9, but it sure did leave some folks surprised when the new BCS rankings came out. The rankings remained unchanged in the top three as Florida, Alabama, and Texas remain on top in that order. The change comes at number 4. Iowa, USC, and TCU all jumped ahead of previously numbers 4 and 5, Boise State and Cincinnati. Rankings 4 through 8 now read Iowa, USC, TCU, Boise State, and Cincinnati. The LSU soccer team had a weekend of up and downs as they lost on Thursday to number 17 Florida. The team bounced back strong by scoring a first-minute goal by Melissa Clark against number 10 South Carolina. The team can now look ahead to their last regular season game against the Arkansas Razorbacks. A win would secure an SEC West championship and keep the Tigers alive in the race for the SEC's overall championship. The SEC tournament will take place next week, Wednesday through Sunday, in Orange Beach, Alabama. The volleyball team experienced a weekend of up and downs as well, as LSU's weekend started with a trip to the number 7 Wildcats of Kentucky. The Tigers fought valiantly, splitting the first 4 games of the match, but ultimately losing the 5th game. The team then traveled down to Knoxville, where they beat the Lady Vols in 4 games. Up next for the Lady Tigers is a pair of home games this weekend. In the first round of matchups, LSU beat the Georgia Bulldogs and Auburn Tigers in 3 games each. Now the Tigers will face each team in the PMAC with the hopes of furthering their lead in the SEC West and getting back in the picture for an SEC championship. Friday's match against Georgia begins at 7 p.m. and Sunday's action will begin at 1 p.m. against the War Eagle. While the state of Louisiana may only be looking at the Saints' Monday night matchup against the Falcons, there are plenty of other NFL games to watch this weekend. Sunday morning's games begin with the undefeated Broncos visiting Baltimore. Both teams had a bye week to prepare for the game. Another noon game to keep an eye on is the 49ers facing undefeated Indianapolis. The 49ers believe they have refound a franchise quarterback in Alex Smith, who had a monster game last week. NFL fans all over the country will be tuning in to watch the greeting Brett Favre receives at Lambeau Field. The Vikings and Packers kick off at 3:15 for Favre's first return to Green Bay in a visitor's uniform. Last but not least, the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons will duel it out on a Monday Night Football. The last time the two teams played on Monday night was the Saints' emotional return to the Superdome a year after Hurricane Katrina. The Saints would go on to win 23-3 in that game. This year's match should be a great one as the Falcons sit in second place in the NFC South at 4-2. The atmosphere in the Superdome sure will be electric after that monumental win against the Miami Dolphins this last weekend.
Well, you know, as potent as the Saints' offense looks, I think the defense is actually the most important part of the team.
Yeah, Darren Sharper's been a game changer.
Absolutely.
Thanks, John.